Hey guys, hey, thanks for joining today. Today I went a little different on a topic. And today's topic that I want to talk about is men and mind games and psychological warfare. Okay, and so basically I just kind of want to go through a few things first. Psychological warfare, not the real psychological warfare, but, as far as like mind games and things like that, there's several different reasons why men and women, but primarily men, use mind games and things like that in order really to get what they want. I just want to go over a few things though. Basically a couple side notes to note here is that deceit is colorblind. Okay. And there's nothing little about a lie. Okay. People generally play games because they can get something, out of it. This is commonly, very closely related to manipulation and things like that. It could be for a number of reasons, whether they want, control of the situation or, a self-esteem boost, things like that. Deception and theatricality are very, very powerful agents. So the more theatrical and the more, exciting somebody is, around you, you tend to believe it a little bit more. Basically stop chasing a fantasy. Okay. That's the number one thing. And basically I just want to say this, bottom line, our past does not control our future unless we maintain the control. So that's just, a few little side notes. Basically, I just kind of want to go ahead and start, getting into it. The best way to win mind games is to not play them. Okay. Don't buy into them. Don't feed into them. Don't, you're not going to be a part of that. Just adios. Okay. Patience is highly important here. Basically, the men that tend to play mind games, they tend to lack emotional maturity. It's usually a poor, ability to communicate effectively, to meet others' needs, to effectively manage their anger. They also have a hard time, forming attachment bonds. One must also consider too, before I, really get into it, is considering the mental health. More than half, which is roughly 56%, tend to have underlying undiagnosed medical issues such as bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder, dissociative, identity disorder, depression, manic and depressive, depression. And a lot of these men tend to be emotionally unavailable, but another rule of thumb is don't take manipulation personally. And I know it sounds really bad, but just hear me out. Basically, you have to understand that manipulation to men that play mind games, this is a part of their daily life. Okay, so manipulation becomes habit. And in turn, habit becomes routine. So even lying or omitting certain details or, even telling half-truths, that's manipulation as well. So basically, there's a few underlying psychological issues probably there. They just have to find the root cause, which, unfortunately, a lot of them don't. So basically, let's go ahead and get into it. What is psychological warfare? Okay. Basically, it's any action practiced by psychological methods to intentionally evoke a planned psychological reaction in others. Okay. Certain techniques used, like I said, are mind games, feeding into emotions, telling women things they want to hear, things like that, irrational reasoning. This is very, very closely related and it ties into psychological manipulation as well. It basically targets your belief system and everything that they're telling you. The main reason of practicing psychological warfare, these mind games that men like to play, is that they seek to destroy these women mentally by psychological means, so that the woman tends to question her validity, in her beliefs and, what he's saying to her, or, makes her, kind of question like, well, did I not do something right? So it's very, like I said, it's in another video, it's very, very close to emotional and psychological manipulation. Very, very similar. An example of this, just in, society would be like a demagogue, someone that instills fear into the minds and the hearts of people to get them to do what they want. And another way that men can use this is sort of like an intimidation tactic, maybe like, maybe not so much physical threats, but that would work too. Or, you know, someone who's like gang affiliated, you know, and things like that. It kind of scares you into, oh, okay, you know, well, I'm gonna do what they want me to do kind of thing. I kind of want to get into one more thing though. Narcissists are very, very common at, you know, doing mind games. They tend to have an inflated sense of self-worth, a sense of entitlement. You know, this in turn is a personality and a mental disorder. This is not just a term, okay? These men generally are fucked up from something that has happened, you know, and that's okay. Like, you know, nobody's perfect, but just, you know, heed warning. The narcissist mentality is that the world is going to fall apart without them. You know, so these are common traits. They're going to start boasting, whether it be about, you know, money or, you know, name dropping or how good they are in bed. You know, just these are very, very common things. They rarely will ask you questions about your life. And in order for them to maintain control, they will keep the conversation one-sided. So it's generally, you know, always about them. Like, seldomly is your well-being put before theirs. Okay. Another, you know, issue here is the fact that, I forgot where I'm at. Here I am, sorry. Okay, guys. Where the fuck am I at today? Okay, yeah. I gotta flip it. Oh, shit. There we go. Sorry. Okay. Anyhow, no empathy is a common mind game. So we're just going to go ahead and get into that today. No empathy. Basically, men will do this to you. They will just display zero empathy for anything that's going on, you know, in your life, or, you know, if you have something like, you know, an ailment or something, you know, maybe that's going on with a family member, things like that. They show no empathy for it. Like, they just could not be bothered, you know, with such things. This is also very closely related to narcissists. And this is a huge warning sign as well. I would probably take heed. This is done because it helps them feel better about themselves. Mostly this is insecurity. This is kind of the core issue, underlying issue here. This is often an attempt to act superior to, you know, other men and things like that. And like I said, you know, there's usually some other kind of root cause, but, you know, insecurity is usually, you know, the main issue here. And they're going to try to tell you things like, you know, oh my gosh, I'm so much better, you know, than other men, or I'm not like other men, or, you know, I'm my own individual, things like that. Those are very, very common. The next game that I want to talk about here is the fragility of your self-esteem. Okay, and this is kind of a displacement theory a little bit. This is where if a female, and you know, genuinely tries to help him, he becomes insulted by this. He will then, you know, respond to her in a critical, you know, very hurtful, demeaning kind of manner. And this is, by her helping him, it's bruising his ego, although it's unbeknownst to her. You know, but he will let you know, he's going to rub it in your face, you know, after that. And then he's going to make you pay, and he's going to let you know how in demand he is and how many girls like him. And, you know, and he's probably going to say something along the lines of, oh, well, you know, if only you had this many options. Common tactic. Okay, this is also classic narcissistic behavior as well. The next game I want to talk about here is wordplay. This one is really fucked up, but I enjoy talking about it. This is basically where they're going to trap you with your own words. Okay, they are going to push your buttons. They are going to use your words, twist them and spin them, and use them against you. But they will always let you talk and speak first, you know, with your side of the argument, so they can go ahead and establish a baseline for their argument. And basically, this is just another manipulation tactic as well, so it kind of, you know, ties in there. The next... oh, God. The next game is the upper hands. This game, I fucking hate, and it's bullshit. The only person that cares about the upper hands are players. Okay, straight up. I'm just going to tell you that right now. You know, an example of this would be a female, you know, working extra hard to sort of get their attention, or, you know, to get them to pay more attention to her. You know, it's kind of like, you know, a little, you know, wannabe cheerleader on the sidelines, like, hey, look at me, I really like you, see what I have to offer, here's my worth, here's my value, here's my esteem. No, don't do that, okay? Because that's fucked up, and basically it's to no avail. It's not going to matter how much you do it, okay? And basically, if a guy is not showing you excitement and enthusiasm, that is generally his way of maintaining control, maintaining the upper hand in the relationship. And this leaves you mentally questioning, you know, what the hell's really going on? Why am I not good enough? You know, so on and so forth. It's exhausting, and basically it's impossible to keep up, you know. And if they do respond, it's going to be, you know, in a horrible, it's going to be in a fucked up manner, but it's going to be the words that you said, okay? But they're going to give you just enough to kind of trail you along and keep you interested. This has a lot to do with insecure men, maybe not a lot of love as a child. You know, they're going to, maybe they constantly sought affection and love and they just never, you know, received it. The next one is negging. And this game I hate because this is like a backhanded compliment. You know, they'll tell you, oh my gosh, you look so pretty. I'm not really crazy about those shoes though. So it's kind of like they're giving you a little bit and then they're taking it back. This right here, it's kind of making them feel better because, you know, they're making you feel not worthy. And this generally stems from men that, you know, have a poor family life, maybe verbally, you know, cut down or abused, things like that. The next game I want to go to is forgets conveniently to call or text. This is when the men say, oh, I've been so busy. Oh my gosh. You know, it's bullshit. Any decent guy will make time for you, okay? Players tend to use this line a lot because they're juggling so many women, you know, and it is kind of hard to keep up. But wait, there is more. So the next game that they're going to use is I'm going to call or text you a week or two later, okay? And the mentality behind this is the players thinking, oh, okay, we'll see what life is like without me. See how valuable I am to you. See what, you know, other women could have had, blah, blah, blah. Basically, he's testing the waters with other women. And if you think he's not, you're delusional. Okay, so wake up. This all boils down basically to reverse psychology. Men cheat and play these mind games because it boosts their ego. You know, and in a sense, psychologically, it's not about you, it's about him. Okay, and it always will be about him. His mentality deep down is he is scared that a woman who is a valuable woman, who is worthy, one day will realize, oh my gosh, I deserve better than this, and she'll up and leave. And that's something that he's very, very afraid of. You know, and this a lot of times will stem from abandonment issues. There is a difference between males and men. Males tend to have low self-esteem, i.e. they only date bad bitches, you know, things like that. But this is basically them trying to convince themselves of their own worth and trying to drown out their insecurities. You know, and a lot of times the women, their loyalty, you know, is going to be questioned, but they'll stay to prove that, you know, oh, I'm not like all the other girls that left you, so on and so forth. But basically, you can't change a bad boy into a good man. They have to do it themselves. They have to want to do it. Love the person, not the behavior. But basically, I just kind of want to just tie this up. Matters really of the heart with mind games are seldomly rooted in permanence. Okay, and basically a relationship will fail if both parties are not interested and both do not have equal intensity with good intentions. You know, I mean, who really wants to be with someone who plays mind games and, you know, wants a bunch of other girls and not only you? You know, think about it. So really, in a sense, you know, the negative behaviors, we need to push that out. If someone doesn't want to change, they won't. 9 times out of 10, you are the rule. You're not the exception. You know, if they care about you truly, you'll never have to question where you stand, you know, with a man. If you do, you were never intentionally his only choice. I know, and it sucks. But basically, you can only help those that want to be helped. Relationships are not prizes that are won by merit. You know, nor are they won by, you know, chasing the bad boy that all the girls want. So, I was going to go a little bit further, but I'm just going to leave it at that today, guys. So, basically, that's what I have for today. And as always, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up, and we're going to have a great discussion tomorrow. Bye.